Good Friday morning. You've almost made it to the weekend. Thanks for waking up with us here on Wake Up Charlotte, the digital version at least. We'll get to the day's top stories coming up in just a few minutes. But first, it's kind of a muggy start to your Friday. Larry Springle's got a check of your Friday and weekend forecast.
For sure. Good morning. The muggy morning has been all week long. Just fair weather clouds out there. Certainly no storms. Oh, great shot right there from our South Charlotte camera. Hour by hour right before lunchtime, mid-80s. Right in the middle of the afternoon, it's going to be upper 80s and low 90s again today. Could be a couple of thunderstorms out there. I tell you what, if we get a little sunshine, that'll fuel up the atmosphere to give us that opportunity. So we'll be in the low 90s today. Tomorrow, a lot of concern of the potential for some strong thunderstorms tomorrow, especially mid-morning to early afternoon. That's a time frame. Tomorrow, not the best day of the weekend. For sunshine, blue skies, Sunday, that's the day. If you got some plans outside, you may want to hold off until Sunday afternoon, 89. Mid-80s Monday and Tuesday. We're close to 90 on Wednesday. Another chance of storm, slight chance by Thursday next week. And that's your first one forecast, Ben.
Larry, thanks. Turning now to the 5 big stories of the day in your morning rush. This morning, Union County Superintendent says his district is looking at coronavirus in schools on a case-by-case basis. The district moved 2 elementary schools online temporarily after COVID-19 outbreaks. Superintendent Andrew Houlihan tells us that it was something the district anticipated. He says they're going to let families know if somebody in their school tests positive. CMS leaders talking about the possibility of bringing kids back to the classroom. A new committee is going over recent numbers here in Mecklenburg County. Officials say trends are going in the right direction, but they still need to work through some pretty substantial staffing shortages in teachers, bus drivers, and school nurses. The committee is set to meet again next month. A local medical facility reporting multiple cases of COVID-19 is happening at Fry Regional Medical Center in Hickory. 4 patients, 3 staff members testing positive for the virus. The facility says it is testing more people to make sure it didn't spread to anybody else. Mallard Creek Presbyterian Church canceling its 91st annual barbecue. The event gives local politicians a chance to come out and meet and mingle with voters before Election Day. Church leadership says they explored different options, but there's really no safe way to host the event. A Concord man out of prison after decades. Ronnie Long released after spending 44 years behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. An all-white jury found him guilty of rape back in 1976. He says he plans to now spend time with his son, who, by the way, was just 3 years old when he was arrested.
It was definitely an emotional moment yesterday when he was released. Ben, good morning, everybody. We had hundreds of thousands of you there watching that release right here on our social media pages. Hundreds of people commenting and sharing the story as well. We could see Ronnie Long, the Concord man, giving a hug to his wife of 6 years. And then he came over and talked to WCNC Charlotte. Long spent 44 years behind bars after being wrongfully convicted of rape. As you heard from Ben in 1976, the court did find that a police detective hid evidence that pointed to another man, and judges on the appeal called it extreme police misconduct. Long was also convicted by an all-white jury at a time when racial tensions were high in Concord, but he told us that he never lost hope that he would be free again.
Don't never give up. You don't make no difference how rough it may seem. Don't seem no different how rough it may get. Don't give up. Always believe that you can overcome. If they will never, ever lock me up again.
Amen. People giving the amen right there. Mayor Vi Lyles tweeting that he suffered 44 years of injustice, but she is thrilled that he is free now. And his son saying that he can't wait to start making those memories with him. And as for that first meal, Ben, he chose ribs, mac and cheese, lemonade, and I bet he will have that maybe even again today.
He deserves it as many times as he wants it, right? It's a great, serious and also inspirational story for everybody who has any sort of adversity to overcome. Rachel, thanks. All right, time now to connect the dots when we make the news make sense. The National Hockey League postponing all playoff games today to protest systemic racism and police brutality. It comes after several other leagues made similar moves earlier this week. Of course, not the first time athletes have used their positions to speak out on social issues.
Prominent athletes protesting racial injustice has a long history. Let's connect the dots. One of those famous protests came at the 1968 Olympic Games. 2 American athletes, Tommy Smith and John Carlos, raised their fists as they stood on the winner's podium, silently protesting discrimination in the United States. And they paid a heavy price. They were expelled from the Games by the Olympic Committee. More recently, starting in 2010, the Phoenix Suns wore jerseys that said Los Suns. That was in the wake of Arizona passing a strict immigration policy that many say encouraged racial profiling. Boycotts aren't new either. Serena and Venus Williams boycotted the Indian Wells tournament for 14 years after Serena was booed by a predominantly white crowd and there were accusations of racial slur. And that is connecting the dots.
Now to some stories to keep you and your family safe and sound. Turns out coughing into your elbow, like we've been told recently, might not be the best way to help keep your germs to yourself. What? Researchers found that coughing into your elbow is only effective if, not then in that picture, or then in that picture. You have to be wearing long sleeves. So if you're wearing short sleeves, which of course we all are because it's 90 degrees outside, you're better just coughing into your hands. Of course, the most effective way to stop germs, as we know at this point in this pandemic, wear a mask. Well, perhaps maybe it's the mask, maybe it's other things. This pandemic making you a little grouchy. Amazon here to help. The company's new Halo band can track the tone of your voice and let you know when you're being a jerk. A microphone in the band will listen to you and track your positivity levels and energies. Here's the deal, though. It doesn't report back to you until the end of the day.
That's a wrong time. I want to know now, right?
Yeah, right? Like, stop the action before it goes any further. Like, you know. By the way, Larry asked how much it was.
How much?
$100.
Forget about it. People will normally let you know eventually, right?
Hopefully.
Hey, you're being a jerk.
Hopefully, if they're good friends, they'll call you.
Somebody will buy that.
They will.
Sure.
Hey, if it was more immediate, I would be open to it, but not at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I've moved on.
That's right.
It's probably like you have right now. That is it for our digital newscast. Here's hoping you have a fantastic Friday and wonderful weekend. And make sure you watch us every single morning starting at 4:30 a.m. on Wake Up Charlotte.
Dark and early.
That's right.